Welcome to Cosmic Roadmap. I'm your host, Melissa Lambor, Reiki Astro Geoguide and author. I support endless wanderers with where they are meant to be in the world. This podcast is for the digital nomad, the avid traveler, and aspiring globetrotter who is seeking their next destination on planet Earth. Join us as we venture around the world through people's stories and how astrogeography has connected them to their planetary energies and purpose. My special guest today is Mardalena Dawn Turpel. She's a master massage therapist and international bestselling author, practicing her art and spreading joy of touch in San Ramon, California, where she lives with her husband and 5 boys. Through her massage techniques, she works with her clients to bring relief from physical pain and release emotional trauma trapped in the tissues. This is her life's calling, and she has been privileged to have spent her time practicing massage since 1999. So we met through our best-selling book, Lineage Speaks, that released on the 21st of January. And now it's on Amazon, so you can read all the amazing stories, and the proceeds continue going to an amazing organization, Elamu Girls. So thank you so much for being on. And yeah, tell everyone a little bit about yourself and just how your recent AstroGeo session went. And if you've gained some clarity on the present, past, and the future.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on,
Thank you.
Melissa. Thanks for the session. It was really neat. I definitely gained a lot of clarity. Yeah. So my name's Mardalena Dawn, as you said, and I live in Northern California. And we started speaking about where I grew up in Colorado.
Exactly. Yes. And I know that you had your moon energy, Uranus energy, and you had a square Neptune energy, which is probably why it felt a bit disharmonious there. And your moon energy is always calling you back to your family. That's related to family, fertility, home. So it makes sense why you're constantly going back. But there's just that, that sense of, it just doesn't feel right. And because you are in more of a healing spiritual profession, it makes complete sense why you decided to leave. And yeah, tell everyone, your journey out of that.
Right. Yeah. Growing up there, we literally built the house we were living in while we were living in it.
Mhm.
And we had a farm with turkeys, ducks, and chickens,
Yeah.
and a huge garden. So, literally built my home there. And when we moved, when I was a teenager, it was heartbreaking for me. And I really, I had planned, I was only going to stay moved away for as long as possible until I was an adult, and then I was going to move back. And that's interesting because right when I became an adult, is when I first started finding massage. Very early, I became a massage therapist at 21. So, and I just never went back. But I had this question, am I supposed to be there? Because I have such a strong connection to that area. It really was very clarifying to be like, yeah, I have my home lines there, my family lines there,
Right.
but kind of for my spiritual future, I am really, it's maybe not the best place for me to be. So it's okay for me to release those ties there.
Yes.
Or, kind of
Yeah.
that expectation or the future I could have had or, might have been or whatever. So there was a big piece in me when I saw that.
Yeah. So
during our session.
I'm glad that it brought you some peace of mind. And also it was interesting as we looked over into California, and that's pretty much where you've spent most of your life now, right?
Yeah, it's the second half of my life.
Yeah, LA, Joshua Tree, you had Moon Node. So Moon Node is related to, tapping into your purpose. And that's essentially what you wrote about in your chapter. So if anybody, reads Lineage Speaks, you'll know what we're talking about. And then you had Jupiter energy there as well. So that's luck, fortune, and abundance. And then the Pluto, which is the transformative energy. And if you want to, expand on that.
So that's all happening on my lines down in Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in Northern California where we moved with my family, which is kind of a neutral area for me. And now that I have a blended family situation with my children, I'm kind of based here now for the next at least 10 years until my children grow up. That drawdown to Southern California has always been there. And now it's like, okay, when my kids grow up, it's like, okay, I think we'll go down there. It's like I almost made it, right? Like,
Right.
to where I was supposed to be or whatever.
Yeah, but
Up here.
you weren't too far. I remember we looked at the
Yeah.
lines that were in the distance over there, and I think it was Neptune, so that was, related to spirituality.
Right, in San
Yeah.
Jose, I think. Yeah, in San
Right,
Jose, which
right.
is not far. Yeah.
Exactly, in
So,
the
yeah,
distance.
and that's what I found, up
Mhm.
here, for sure.
Exactly. So how was that journey into massage therapy? In your chapter, you dive deeper into, emotions being trapped in our body. And, I go to massage therapy regularly and I know how important it is to keep working with the body. But yeah, tell people, yeah, how your work allows emotions to be released from the body.
We can only handle so much, right?
Mhm.
And our body has a complex system of defenses that help us to survive mentally, emotionally, physically, not always thrive. So we kind of have to consciously adapt the practices that might help us thrive. But one of the things our defenses, our bodies do, when we have an emotional trauma that we aren't prepared to deal with, it will hold it. Sometimes it's even very physically how you react in that moment, like your gut goes in, or you raise your shoulders or you hide, you're hiding something. These all go in different places in your body, and then and we hold them, the neuro and the connection to our brains gets switched. So our muscles think they're relaxed when they're actually not relaxed. They're tense
Mm,
because they're holding on to something, they're protecting something. They think they're protecting us from ourselves. So when you touch that and the muscle feels all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I'm not relaxed. I am tense. And then it relaxes, then those emotions come back up sometimes. Also, the body will hold on to that if you're not ready to release it. You can hammer it, hammer, hammer it, and if you have not, and if your body, because our emotional system is the strongest system we have, it's subconscious a lot, unless you
right.
learn how to deal with it, and it will protect us the best way it knows how. So it will hold on to that forever if we allow it to.
Right. I was gonna say that's the importance of shadow work, right? Working with our emotions because then
Yes.
that allows to release. And I've heard
To-
people, and I think with at least when with me working with my massage therapist, she does work on the emotional level too. As
ah,
we dive deeper into our emotions, that you start feeling those pains going away, and you're like, wait, that was it. Like it was finally releasing that emotional pain that allowed the physical pain to dissipate.
to-
Yeah.
isn't that neat? I mean, it seems so simple, but it's also there's no equation, for sure.
Yeah. Are there
Yeah.
any practices that you recommend, like any simple techniques?
Well, the number one thing is drinking water,
Mm.
because drinking water, it just I mean, helps lube your whole body so that your tissues can move, if they want to.
And I'm guilty
Um,
of not drinking enough.
and the cool thing about it is the more the more that you drink, the more delicious it becomes to you, and the more your body
Right.
wants it.
Yeah, for
It's
me,
so
I think it's almost like a focus thing. Like I get so into my work that I forget to drink water and it'll be, noontime, 2, 3 in the day. And it's like, hey,
right.
my partner's like, hey, have you drank anything? I'm like, no. So it's an important reminder to stay hydrated.
Yeah, I just carry my glass with me
Mhm.
everywhere I go. Even if it's 5 minutes down the road, I've just gotta bring my water with me. Yeah, and that any kind of stretching, because what has happening, I mean, physically, not emotionally, but physically, our body is trying to keep itself together. So it's a complex layer of connective tissue, which is called fascia. It's constantly forming.
Mm,
And when we move, it stretches, and that allows us to move. And the less we move, the thicker those layers become, the harder it is to stretch, more painful it is to stretch, and the harder it is to move. So any
yeah.
kind of move, any kind of heat, like hot water, baths,
Hot tub,
showers,
hot
all that
tub.
kind of just the hot tub, hot
Yeah.
tub. Heck yeah.
I know that. I
Yeah.
know
To
about
ease,
that.
yeah, and just self-love, man.
Yes,
Just love yourself. Yeah.
I love
And
that.
any kind of laying on of hands, it might feel at first like it's corny or it's not going to do
Mm.
anything.
Well, with
But I
Reiki,
mean, headaches?
essentially,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
you're just, applying awareness to that area and
Yeah.
the
Well,
energy
you
in our
love
hands.
your own love. And it's
Mhm.
amazing how much that does help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of, our session, all the places that we spoke about, was there anything else that came to mind or, that or synchronicity that I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I didn't think that I would learn this or would figure out that gap," right?
Like we spoke about, it's like almost a large permission to be like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, like a permission, like, hey, those energies, I am feeling those things. I feel drawn to there, like down south,
Yeah.
and so there's like a permission given. We spoke about I'm thinking about traveling this summer with my family, and it's complicated with our blended family. We've got 5 boys, ages 14 to 7,
Yeah.
a total of 3 different households, with their other parents and stuff. So we want to travel the Caribbean, and you just said that was a good place for communication. It
Yeah,
was a
for
good place,
love.
for love. And so
Yeah.
so I think we're gonna, even though I mean it's gonna be difficult, I think we're gonna make that. I think it's gonna be one of those vacations that the boys remember.
Yeah, and a few of the other places that I remember off the top of my head, San Antonio, like Austin, Texas, which were kind of
Yes,
like off the wall. I
actually.
didn't know if those were places that you had considered, but you had some really good energy, like Jupiter, abundance energy there. New
Right.
Orleans was another one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely planning travel. I love to travel, and so does my partner. So
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the places that you've been to. I know that we didn't talk about, at least in our session, we didn't talk about these places, and hopefully
yeah,
we
yeah.
we
No, I
discuss
want to
them in
do
the
the next
future.
session.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I did a student exchange to Germany,
Mm,
and in the past I've struggled with details. I just kind of let the world wash over me.
right.
So in astrogeography, I'm like, I gotta get some details, do some research before my next
Yeah.
session. Where exactly did I go in Germany? Where exactly did I go in Australia?
Yes, yes.
But those were both very transformative in very different ways for me. And I've been to Thailand, which I
Favorite.
really want to go back. It was way too short. I really want to go back to Thailand. And I spent the summer in New York one summer, and New Hampshire is beautiful. So yeah, a lot in the east.
Yeah,
Um,
on the East
haven't
Coast.
really, yeah, haven't
Yeah,
really
and
been down in the like down south coast,
right,
east,
right.
south.
And it seems like Florida would be a really good place for you. Like there's moon
Mm,
energy there, Neptune energy, which goes through Cuba as well. So a lot of that,
right.
yeah, that home kind of like
Right.
retreat
That might actually
energy.
be,
Yeah.
yeah, for this vacation.
Yeah, visiting
Oh,
those
yeah.
places. So you've been to Europe, you've been to Asia. Any other, like, do you have any interesting travel stories that you want to tell or that you may want to connect to
I
Astro
l-
Geo in the future? Like, why did this happen? Or why did I feel like that?
my student exchange went to the former East Germany, and my brother went to the former West Germany. We had totally different experiences. And I was
Right.
always like, I wish that I had gone to the West. And I just wonder, I just kind of wonder if there was any reason for that in the
Yeah.
future. And Australia was amazing. I went on the student exchange, and then I went back again with my family. And I mean, so many different reasons of Australia, I just felt very connected there, very welcomed there. And so, yeah, I just was kind of wondering if that has any kind of planetary stuff over there. See if
Yeah.
but my partner was very jealous. So he wants to book an appointment with you. So he's next
He wants to
for
figure out
sure.
where to be as
Yeah,
well.
he wants to know. He is a huge traveler. Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, and
Yeah.
I love to find the harmony between couples too when I do couple sessions.
I'm
So
very curious about that too. He's
yeah,
like,
to
I thought
match
we
that
could
up.
do it together. I was like, well, I think we have to. I mean, maybe, but we have to let her know like ahead of
You
time.
can't just crash the
You
session
can't
like,
just crash my session.
exactly. Yeah. So where do you see yourself, or where do you see your business evolving now that where to go? Do you see yourself maybe going to LA and
Right.
starting something, or maybe doing some coaching or collaborating in some way related to massage therapy?
Right. Well, I'm coming up on, practicing for a quarter of a century.
Yeah.
So that's why I've taken on the moniker of master because I've been practicing for more than 20 years. So I'm thinking, I'm thinking of, and I have people come to see me. I'm based in Northern California, but I have people who travel to see me. So, dreaming big, just like being like, okay, I'm going to go to this place and do massages there. And, being like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I offer, and kind of see where that takes me,
Yes.
kind of do.
And I remember you chatting, yeah, during our session about you possibly, volunteering your services to charities or nonprofits, right? Like LMU Girls.
Hugely.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I
Yes.
want to start with LMU Girls because we have a connection there. But when you mentioned Haiti, I was like, then put that on my list to see if there's some organization I can go there. Because who doesn't need massage? Like I'd be like, hey, I'll come. Can I come and stay with you and,
Exactly.
and offer my services? Which is, one of the things I've always loved about being a massage therapist. Like I can always be of service wherever I go, to
Exactly.
whoever I'm with, which I love. And so I would love to have those experiences. Volunteering in the past with Habitat for Humanity and the Hunger Heifer happening, I
Yes.
loved doing that. So to have experiences like that and to be able to give my gift would be amazing. So
Yes.
yeah,
I love the
absolutely.
heifer organization. So they're in Little Rock, Arkansas. I finally remembered
Ah,
because I
nice.
because I did visit the headquarters a few
Nice.
years back, and it was amazing. Yeah, because they really do, support the families that they're working with instead of just throwing money at them. And the same thing with LMU Girls. It's all about providing the support and the
Right.
resources for
And
them to
having them
be,
create their own lives
yes,
where they live. Yeah,
self-sustainable.
meeting them where they are.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And my brain is going like, oh my gosh, so you want to donate your services to nonprofits, but you can also, donate your services to anywhere in the world, right? I know a
Oh my
friend of
gosh, that's a
mine,
great
usually
idea.
usually does that. If she wants to get into a retreat, she can't necessarily pay for it. She's like, hey, like,
Right?
do you need a
I've
massage
thought about
therapist?
doing that when I was younger on cruises.
Yes.
But this would be better. Oh my God, I would love to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, I could see you like in
Thank you
Bali
for
and
that
Thailand.
idea. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do.
Yes. I
That's
love
what I'll
I love that
do.
idea for you. So yeah, so
Thank
tell
you.
people a little bit about your offerings, how people can work with you, how can they reach out to you? And if you offer anything from a distance, maybe this will get your brain going for
Yeah, well,
yeah.
at the moment, I don't offer any virtual
Mhm.
sessions. I work out of San Ramon, California. I'm
Yeah.
a massage establishment owner at Moduli Salon and Spa in San Ramon. It's beautiful, beautiful salon. And I'm going to be offering breathwork classes in the morning there this summer when it warms up. So
Love
that's my
that.
new offering. I'm going to start reaching out to people who are holding retreats
Yes,
and offer my massage. Like maybe I'll reach out to Bridget actually and be like, hey, that could be a way I could go
exactly.
to her retreat. Yeah.
Yes, reach out to into the closest network, right? And
Right.
with breath work, how have you been doing that over time, or is this
Yep.
something new?
It's something over the
Mhm.
past 2 years that I've just done. I've been practicing myself and I just got certified in the five element
Amazing.
breathwork session. So I'm going to be offering it outdoors this summer when things warm up here in California. So I'm really
Amazing.
excited about that. But it goes from, the earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And
Yes.
it's just 5 different breathwork sets, half an hour, that are each tailored to those specific elements. And then, also offer some rituals you can do, some journaling you can do for each element to kind of deepen the experience.
I love that. Yeah, because I love Ayurveda and I incorporate it into my sessions as well. It works with all those with all those elements. So
Yes, yeah.
yeah, amazing, amazing. So thank you for being on today.
Oh,
And
thank
yeah,
you.
so definitely reach out to Mardalena Dawn Turpel. And what is your website, or is there any?
MardalenaDawn.com
Okay, perfect.
is my website. Yes.
Yes. All right. So I leave everyone with this quote: lineage goes beyond your ancestors. You are meant to connect to the cosmos so you may finally find your cosmic family. Until next time. Thank you for listening to Cosmic Roadmap. If you're curious about astrogeography and where you're meant to be on the planet, go to cosmicroadmap.com to download your free passport to purpose. You can also book a session with me where we can explore your own cosmic roadmap and chart your next destination in business, love, and life.